What's going on, everybody? I'm going to give you 3 tips to have a successful blueberry harvest. So these 5 were the ones that I ended up purchasing from DeMayo Farms. They do ship, but I have no idea how much their shipping is. They have a YouTube channel, and I'll actually go ahead and put that in the description too, so you guys can actually reach out if this is something that you guys want to try. Yeah, so these look great. They have buds already starting, leaves coming out already. DeMayo actually grows these outside, so they're used to the elements in the weather, which is a great thing for your blueberries. There's no real shock coming from a greenhouse environment to then outside. So these are used to cold climates, so they should do great down here. It doesn't get super cold down here in Virginia, but when it does get cold or a frost happens, these blueberries should be able to handle it perfectly fine. So we have the 5 from DeMayo Farms out this way, and then the one from Blueberry Bill is right here. Tip 1 for a successful blueberry harvest is going to be the hole size. What I look for is to make it around 2 times the size of the container. So if this is 10 to 12 inches, I'm looking for a 20 to 24 inch hole. And then depth wise, when we put this container in, we want the top of the container, the soil here, to be the same height as the soil on the ground. If not, you can go ahead and bury the stems, and that will actually damage your plants. Whatever height the depth is on the container, we want to try to keep that when we plant the plant in the ground. So with digging these holes, what I personally like to do is leave the plant exactly where you want it, then start to edge where you want your hole. Then you can move the plant out of the way and complete digging your hole. What's beneficial about doing it like that is I know exactly where I want the plant. I got the edge all the way around it, and then when I put the plant back in the middle, I know it's exactly in the center of this hole that I just dug. Bermuda grass. And then I basically have that 4 to 5 inches on each side of the hole. Tip number 2 for growing great blueberries: some peat moss or a soil acidifier. Peat moss will acidify your soil, so what we're going to do now is mix our peat moss and some of our compost together, around 2/3 peat moss to 1/3 compost, and then we're going to add that to the holes that we dug for the blueberries. As you can see, this is a little too low, but we're adding our peat moss compost mixture to bring that level up. Now what I want to do is add some of this compost peat moss mixture to the bottom of the hole. With that being in, I have a little bit of azomite powder that I'm adding. And a handful of worm castings. I'm going ahead and mixing and incorporating that into the bottom of the planting area. The 5 that we've already planted was from DeMayo Farms. The root structure was really nice. This one here, I pulled a little bit and then like the whole thing's coming out. So not very pleased with that. We'll see. Hopefully everything still takes well with this, but this one looks like it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge to properly get set. Yeah, so you can see basically the root ball there. I am going to add some of the sand that it was potted with. So now you can see this level of the ground is level right to the base of the root ball. And I'm just going to backfill in. This looks like a lot, but everything's real loose, so I'm trying to pack it in as well. Yep, so we were able to bring some more over, so I'll finish topping this off. And then our final step, we're going to go ahead, water this in now really well. That's going to help make sure that we get that great peat moss mixture around these new roots in the soil. Also, don't forget, you want to try to keep these moist. Peat moss will get hydrophobic if it dries completely out. So if you can keep this moist, water it every 2 to 3 days. And it doesn't need a big soaking. Just make sure you saturate that entire hole. Another great thing for this is going to be a mulch layer. The mulch layer will help retain some of that moisture and not allow that peat moss to get hydrophobic. If you guys have any questions, don't forget, drop them down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along, checking out the video, and are able to use some of these tips as using some peat moss or a soil acidifier with your blueberries. Making sure you have the proper depth and width of your hole, and then also adding some type of nutrients, whether compost, worm castings, a little azomite for minerals. These will all really help your blueberry bushes take off and give you a great yield. I will go ahead and do some updates, so make sure you're subscribed so you can come along and check it out. Thanks for coming along, checking out the video. Everybody have a great day.